to this webinar focusing on sentence types and structures across Key Stage 1. I will talk through the basics of sentence structure and apply this to show how it is taught and built upon in Year 1 and 2. To start off with, I'm going to explain the end-of-year expectations of sentence writing in Year 1 and Year 2. This has been taken from the writing assessment grids from the national curriculum. So by the end of Year 1, they need to be able to orally rehearse sentences and sequence them to form short narratives. They need to demarcate many sentences using a capital letter and full stop, question mark, or exclamation mark. And then they need to be able to join words and clauses with the conjunction and. Year 2 end-of-year expectations are as followed. Write simple, coherent narratives about personal experiences and those of others. This could be real or fictional. Demarcate most sentences in their writing with capital letters and full stops and use question marks correctly when required. Use subordination, for example, or and but, and some subordination, like when, if, that, and because to join clauses. Building strong language foundation starts early in the early years, then into Year 1 and 2. Children develop essential sentence skills that shape their future learning. So what makes a sentence? A sentence is a collection of words that make sense when read together, often containing a subject and a verb. So a subject, this could be a person, place, or thing the sentence is about. A verb, which is the action or state of being. A punctuation mark, full stop, question mark, or exclamation mark at the end. Capital letter at the start of a sentence, and then altogether you have the complete thought, which is a sentence that should make sense on its own. Sentence types. In Year 1, we introduce 4 types of sentences which require a range of punctuation. A statement is a sentence which tells you something and ends with a full stop. Questions are sentences that ask you something and at the end they need a question mark. Commands are used to tell someone what to do and often start with an imperative verb. I like to use the term bossy verb in Year 1. And then finally, exclamations, which show intense feelings or surprise and end with an exclamation mark. Let's explore the progression of sentence types and how young learners master them step by step. Rather than introducing children to formal terms in Year 1, it's better to concentrate on the concept of a sentence being a group of words which express a complete thought. Initial discussions should focus on developing understanding of simple sentences which express one main idea. They need to be clear that a written sentence is a group of words which make sense as a unit and do not leave the reader feeling confused. So in Year 1, we'd start with writing a simple sentence which has one main idea. Then we would introduce using a range of activities to help children understand and form sentences. For example, unscrambling sentences, finishing off a sentence, and adding in a missing word into a sentence. When writing all types of sentences, children will be taught how to use a range of punctuation, and we would introduce full stops, question marks, and exclamation marks in Year 1. Once Year 1 pupils have a strong understanding of how to write simple sentences, they will be ready to consider how to extend them. Children will be taught how to use joining words and joining clauses using and. Let's have a look at Year 2's concepts and progression. So first of all, we're beginning Year 2 by recapping the Year 1 skills and knowledge. We then would teach them to write a compound sentences with a range of joining words like and, but, and so. Then we would move on to complex sentences. So for a complex sentence, we need a main clause, which is our simple sentence. For example, the cat slept. This can stand by itself and it makes sense. Then we would need a bit of extra information called a dependent clause, and we might add because it was tired. That would not stand alone and needs the main clause to make sense. Then, combine them together, we have our complex sentence. The cat slept because it was tired. The main clause is there, and the dependent clause adds more information about why the cat slept. And then once we have grasped those concepts, we would then expect the children to start writing for sustained periods of time to produce narratives and other forms of writing like reports, diaries, and explanations. To help support children with their writing and ideas, we may use word banks or word mats, which the children will refer to for ideas. Here are some examples of Year 1 and 2 writing mats. These may be given to children in their book, on their desk, or even displayed in the classroom to model how they're used. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to have a look at these in a little bit more detail. Thank you for watching this webinar about sentence structure and progression across Key Stage 1. For more information on how we assess children's writing and the expectations in Year 1 and Year 2, take a look at my other webinar, which links nicely to what you have just watched.